This is another Gimme 5. Hello again everyone, this is Kazam. You can see in this render that Addie has some flyaway hairs, but she's using a regular, and I'll show you over here, just a waterfall tails hair, which most of you who have Daz Studio are familiar with that. It's just an object-based hair. It's not strand-based, but I've been able to enhance it with these flyaways using strand-based hair, and I am going to show you how easy that was to do. Once you have your character in the pose and the hair where you want it, and it's just easier to do it this way, so do that before you start messing with the strand-based hair. I'm going to go ahead and edit strand-based hair, just so you can see the exact settings that I arrived at. Okay, and that's going to be the greater part of this video, is you probably taking screenshots of these settings as a starting point. At any rate, you all are familiar with this. It's usually a good idea at this point to hit update surfaces, just as an aside. Alright, this is how I painted it. I didn't get all that dappled look on purpose. It was just the best job that I could get the paint tool in this Garibaldi interface to work, but as it turns out, it actually worked out pretty well that way. Alright, but as you can see, I just went through and painted a lot of stuff. I didn't use full opacity. Alright, distribute, here are my settings here. Alright, I have a density of about 0.025. That's very, very low. Okay, and you want that because you're dealing with flyaways. Hopefully you can see this in this recording. We've got the show hairs with widths here. You can see how few there really are. That's what you want, just so you know. Okay, I have my length set here to 20 because she has long hair and they're flyaways. You want some length in that. Style, I didn't do a whole lot to, except I did do some retained curve lengths and the like. You can look at these here. The important thing is the segment length down here, 0.25. That's what gives the hairs that kind of a little bit of a kinky. It means your hair is capable of turning more. Okay, it means it's capable of bending more in more different directions. I didn't actually fool with auto parting, any of that. Let's go to clump. I like a lot of times, and it depends on your video card whether you can do this, the show hairs with widths. I just wanted to show you the way that looks. Let me pull in on this. You can start seeing, when you get to clump, you can start seeing that you're going to have flyaways. Okay, and don't worry about these that are on the inside. What ends up happening with a lot of them, as you can see from that render of Addie, is she actually has a couple of flyaways running down the front of her face, which is exactly what you would have. Okay, that's realistic, and so I didn't try to change that. Okay, I could have used the scissor tool under style and gone in and cut those, but I decided to leave them to see how it worked out, and it actually worked out really well. Here are my clumping settings for this setup, and you can pause the video and take a screenshot of that. And then here's tweak. Okay, I'm going to do the show hairs with widths 100%. That's where you really get to see how it's going to look. All right. Now over here we have our reduced length. I set that at 1.21 in this particular case. And then we have random length here. I dialed to 2.03. I didn't sit down with a calculator and figure any of this out. I moved the slider until it looked right. Okay, so it'll randomize the lengths of some of these a little bit. Our random root angle is actually pretty important. Okay, when you have your pitch, roll, and yaw, and as you fool around with those with the slider, you'll start seeing what they do. You're going to find that that is a very valuable setting to start using if you're new to strand-based hair. There's my Scraggle 1, Scraggle 2, Fuzz. I don't normally mess too much with Scraggle, although I did a tiny bit here. It's more the frizz that you get that gives you, that feeling that you're dealing with hair. Okay, or that's at least in my opinion the way I render photoreal and iRay. That's what works for me. At any rate, there are all of your settings. You can back the video up and do some screen captures of those. All right, I'm just going to hit cancel here because I already have it. Then the second thing you need to do is just set up some lighting. You're messing with, or you're working with flyaways, and so I thought that would be better with rim light and translucency, and so that's what I did. And as just one other little tip for you, let's go see what I did about surfaces on this. What I did was I gave the exact same, I basically just copied I did a copy selected surfaces from Waterfall Tales right here. I just did a copy and then I went down and pasted it. That way it matches. And it also gave me, some translucency. I didn't actually have to fool around with translucency very much. I did not make any distinction. I just went ahead and used all of these, okay, including Strand Based Hair material. And that's how I got my flyaways. And if you're trying to get just a little bit of an extra realistic touch to hair in an iRay photoreal render, that's a very, very good method to use, in my opinion. Go ahead and play with your strand-based hair. You want long hairs. You don't want it to be very thick. And you want it to just kind of fly around. And as you start playing with those sliders in the Garibaldi interface, you'll figure out how to do that. Every situation is a little different, and everybody has a little bit different taste. There you are. I hope you learned a little bit of something in this video. Please hit the like and subscribe. Happy rendering, and I will see you again soon.